Hey everyone, welcome back to the new and improved Talk with Maynard Videocast, where I give you the best stories in the United States today. This week, I have some great feel-good stories to start your Labor Day off, so sit back and enjoy this video. Since this series is something different than I've ever done before, it's not perfect, but each week I hope to improve it. And this week I definitely think I improved it. The stories are so much better and I have more content for you this time. So let's get to our first story. My first story is definitely a feel-good story. It's about a disabled boy that finally gets to play in the ocean thanks to a beach wheelchair. This story is titled, Mom Moved to Tears as Disabled Son Finally Gets to Play in the Sea Thanks to the Beach Wheelchair. This comes from the Good News Network and was published on August 27th, 2022. The story goes like this. A little boy finally got to play in the sea thanks to the use of a beach wheelchair, and his laughter brought his mom to tears. Joey has quadriplegic cerebral palsy, which affects both his arms, legs, and sometimes his torso and face. The 2-year-old suffers with very bad sensory issues and cannot stand the feel of grass, sand, carpet, and snow. I think it's so crazy and cool that there are wheelchairs you can get that can go in the ocean now. That makes experiences like this great for someone like Joey. The story then goes on to say, trips to the beach were impossible for Joey, but thanks to a charity offering big-wheeled wheelchairs on Ingold Mills Beach in Lincolnshire, the family has finally been able to enjoy the sea for the first time. Helen Butterfield, mother of 3, Joey's full-time caregiver, said seeing his reaction was one of the most special moments of her life. Honestly, he has never laughed so much. Miss Butterfield, Joey's mother, then goes on to say, he has been through so much, so seeing him in the sea was the best feeling ever. He is so tiny but mighty, and I'm sure his strength and determination won't stop there. It's so great that we live in a world with medical equipment like this. A few years ago, you wouldn't be able to do this. It's so amazing that someone like Joey got to experience the ocean for the first time. I can't even imagine the joy and excitement that he felt. Before we move on to our next story, check out this reel that ABC News posted of Joey in the ocean. His joy is so beautiful. The next story is a big one. It shows that communities in the United States can still come together stronger than ever in the face of tragedy. This next story is titled, Uvalde Football Wins First Home Game After Surprise Visit from the Houston Texans. This story was posted by ABC News on September 2nd, 2022. The story goes like this. After a summer plagued with grief, anxiety, and anger, Uvalde found an escape celebrating the high school's first home football game of the season. Uvalde High School Coyotes take on the CC Win High School Mavericks. After a close, dramatic game, it was a storybook victory for Uvalde, winning 34-28. You wouldn't think, after such a tragic moment, that a community could come together so big and win their first football game of the season. I mean, look at the crowd in this picture. It's absolutely wild. The story then goes on to say, Uvalde Stadium is just 2.4 miles from Robb Elementary School, where 19 elementary students and 2 teachers were killed on May 24th. Uvalde Strong shirts filled the stands. Uvalde held a prayer and a 21 seconds of silence before the game, commemorating the 21 victims. It's good that they came back so strong, but it's also good that they remembered those they lost. It was such a terrible event, and the memory should keep it from happening again. It then continues on with the coolest part of the entire story. As the team gathered for a pregame dinner Thursday night, they were greeted by surprise visitors, Houston Texans coach Lovie Smith and Texans linebackers Christian Kirksey and Camu Hill. "I think it's awesome," Uvalde coach Wade Miller said. "It makes us feel the love we're getting from around the world and especially the state of Texas." The Texans gifted Uvalde with new uniforms and equipment for the season and will honor the team with Uvalde Strong stickers on their helmets at their first home game on September 11th. The story then ends like this. "The guys just enjoy giving back," Texans owner Kyle McNair told ABC News. Defensive end for Uvalde, Jonathan Elizondo, 17, said the tragedy has brought the team together and that they're mentally stronger now. "I just don't want them to see this as like a tragic town, you know. I want there to be positivity again," he said. I will end this story there. It's such an awesome and heartwarming thing to see a community come together after such tragic loss. It was such a good night for the team, and I'm so glad that the Houston Texans came and surprised them. What a story. This next story is absolutely mind-blowing because it's about a blind judge that gets to drive a race car. It just shows that you can do almost anything that you put your mind to. This next story is titled, "Blind Michigan Judge Drives Race Car and Inspires Others to Follow Their Dreams Too." This story was published on September 3rd, 2022 by Fox News. The story starts like this. A Michigan Supreme Court justice is proving that a visual disability is not enough to keep anyone down. Michigan State Supreme Court Justice Richard Bernstein has proven that someone who is blind can drive a race car. This is so awesome. But I know what you're thinking. Blind and race car? How can anyone do that? Well, let me explain. Bernstein, legally blind since birth, told Fox News that Sheriff Chris Swanson, who rode in the passenger seat, assisted him with directions. Bernstein drove around on a dirt track at the Genesee County Fair near Flint, Michigan. It was his first time driving a car. People with a disability know what we can accomplish, but the real thing is for those who are not disabled to give us an opportunity, Bernstein, 47, said. This just shows a person with a disability can accomplish anything with some help. We just need to give them the opportunity to do what they want. The story continues like this. An estimated 6 million Americans have vision loss, and 1 million had blindness in 2017. Bernstein, who is seeking re-election to his position in Michigan in November, told Fox News that he is passionate about his work and stretching his comfort zone in despite of his disability. He applied the skills he has to running 25 marathons, participating in 1 Ironman competition, and making his dream of being a race car driver come true. It is so surprising that someone who is blind can accomplish so much. It's absolutely amazing. The story ends like this. Life is so intense and heavy sometimes. At some point, you just want to have some fun, Bernstein said. People ask him how he can do his job if he cannot see evidence. He told Fox News that this really is not the job. Rather, it's his job to make sure the procedure is followed correctly. Every Wednesday, he gets an estimated 25 cases that affect real people's lives. He cannot put these cases in Braille. Bernstein prepares for these cases by memorizing all 25 every week. This story shows just because you have a disability doesn't mean you can give up. You need to get out there and live life to the fullest. You have no idea what you're missing if you don't. This last story is actually a video, so I'm going to show you parts of this video and give you my thoughts on it as we go. This last story is titled, Teen Pilot Breaks Record by Circling the Globe Solo. This was published on August 30th, 2022 by Fox News. let's get to checking this video out.
Now, pilot Mac Rutherford, now the youngest person ever to fly solo around the globe. Mac Rutherford joins us now. Mac, great to have you on. Congratulations. You say, he is there. There we go. You say that you had several wow moments, Mac. Give me the two biggest wow moments of your trip.
So the biggest probably moment was my flight from Japan to the US. So I wasn't able to fly through Russia, so I had to do a very long 10-hour flight.
I can't even imagine what it's like to fly around the world this young. I haven't seen any of the world. I've only seen a few states here in the United States. So it's so crazy to think they've seen so much of the world so quickly.
He's there. What happened? What was the toughest part of this? And was there a point where you thought, I don't know if I'm going to make this?
Yes, so I had lots of difficulties, particularly when it came to paperwork in Crete and Dubai. Both times I was stuck for a month and a half. And this made it very difficult, and particularly when I was in Dubai, I was wondering whether I'd actually be able to finish my trip because I wasn't allowed to go fly through Russia, and normally I'm not allowed to fly through Japan either, my type of airplane. But luckily I was able to get the Japanese permit, which has never been issued before, and be able to do it, which was incredible.
What a fantastic...
I can't even imagine what it's like to go to all these countries all by yourself. I'd be so scared, especially getting stuck in a country I don't know anything about for several weeks at a time.
What a fantastic story. You were 16 when you left, Mac. You turned 17 during this great journey. Any really scary moments for you along the way that you were concerned, that your family was concerned?
Yes, so the Pacific flight, but then also one of the big moments, particularly at the start of the trip, was when I was flying through the Sahara Desert. I had a fuel pump problem over the middle of the desert, and this was obviously quite bad, and it meant that I didn't have enough fuel to reach my destination. But luckily, I was crossed the border to Sudan, was able to descend, and it started working again. But if it hadn't started working again, it would have caused some major problems.
What do you tell other 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds, older people? What's your message? What do you tell them?
So I'm trying to show that young people can make a difference, that you don't have to be 18 to do something special. That you can just follow your dreams, and as long as you work hard and push forward and you really want to achieve it, you can. You don't have to wait, just follow your dreams.
I gotta go.
Once again, I would be scared to have fuel pump problems in the middle of a desert. What if that fuel pump quit working and you had to make an emergency landing? That is so scary. Also, I can't believe that he spent his birthday flying this airplane. I couldn't be away from my family for my birthday, but I guess if it's for a world record attempt, it's worth it. This is absolutely an amazing story. That about wraps it up for this week's video. Thank you for joining me on your Labor Day. Hopefully these stories make you feel good and let you have an amazing day. Anyway, that's all I have for you in this video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And to see more of my videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, it's the month of Maynardstang, where I try to raise as much awareness for muscular dystrophy and the Muscular Dystrophy Association as possible. To support me and MDA, please visit ProjectMaynardstang.com to buy the official Project Maynardstang cruise and merch. All proceeds will go to the Muscular Dystrophy Association. Thank you for watching.
Woo, woo, woo.